points regarding our site, a presentation, and then I will ask each one of you for a brief presentation about your experience on building clubs. What went well, what didn't went that well? What would you suggest for other people? Let's remind, even if we don't have lots of people in this webinar, let's keep in mind that this will be available soon, recorded. So let's try to make it useful for everyone who wants to build a club in the future. So let's see, just 2 minutes more and we will start. From our CG team, I see there is missing Antonio, Juan Duran from Division B, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He's supposed to come, he said, to join.
He will join, yes. Antonio Mendes also, that was going to join, and Laura. Pablo was the only one from Division A who said this was not a good day for him because he was preparing everything to Malaga. But we will manage to have other opportunities to hear him about this, because I'm sure he is great experienced in building clubs and can say something.
And he also organized a corporate summit, right, last year in Division A. Was he the organizer?
I'm not sure. I can't answer that. I'm not sure. The ones that I attend
directly, but I think he said that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I believe there was a corporate summit, but I got materials from Victor Lopes, that was the division director. So I'm not sure who was the team involved in it. Because I got
because they belong to the same. He used to be area director last year.
Yeah, so. I know. And Victor, division director.
Exactly.
Okay. So should we start? What do you suggest?
We are Toastmasters, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So let's do it. And as we go along, if the persons that are missing will join, we will do. Okay. It's recording. Great. Okay. Welcome to this webinar about how to build a club. In this webinar, we will try to share with you some useful tools and materials, and also some of our experience. What went well, what didn't went on so well. My name is Sara Magalhães. I'm Club Growth Director for this year for Toastmasters Iberia. I have 10 years as a Toastmaster, and in 10 years I've been sponsor, I've been mentor, I've been coach, and I've saw some clubs burning, and unfortunately also some clubs dying in my path. It's a challenge to build a club, even if it's a community club, a corporate club, but it's always a challenge to find 20 people that are willing to do this, that want to pay, and that are committed to bring this a reality. We will talk about some issues that will help you, who knows, in the future, while you're trying to build a club, to make your task easy. Let's start by our Club Growth Corner. If you remember from last year, we had a Club Growth Corner with some materials that that were useful, manuals for coaches and other things. This year, it's all about how to build a club. So you can here find, in a very easy way, all the forms that you need to build a club and how to do it. The PDFs are editable, as it says. You have the charter forms checklist, and then you go one by one with the payment, the application, the club officer information, and so on and so on. Right here in the end, you have the links to all the papers. This is a part that you may think, oh, this is not the most important part. It isn't. You have to find the persons, you have to find the people, you have to find the team that is committed. But this is the part that strangely lots of clubs struggle once they have it all figured out. Even if it's a corporate club or a community club, they go through this, and there's a lot of people to be fulfilled. It's not easy always for corporations, for instance, to do the payments preceding Toastmasters rules. So what we try to do is this with this Club Growth Corner, to simplify what can be a bureaucratic process and to make it easy for everyone to go through it. Okay, so this is the first thing that we like to announce. One thing that is important to say, this is a dynamic site. Right now, this is the information that we put here available. If you would like to see here other stuff concerning how to build a club, please tell us, and me, the IT team and the PR team will include the material that you feel is necessary. Okay, now coming from here, getting rid of the paper parts, I put in the agenda two other moments. One, thinking about mainly community clubs, and another for corporates. For community clubs, when I was in Denver, Colorado, I heard of what it seems to me a fantastic way to build a club. They found a strategy that helped them a lot in several districts across the world. Successful cases are, for instance, in Poland. There is a thing called dynamic demo sessions. And what is a dynamic demo sessions? You find a venue, and you have, for this venue, imagine, all Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, the venue is free for Toastmasters. You invite 60 people from Meetup, Facebook, from your friends, from other clubs, to those spots, okay? And you build the agenda with experienced Toastmasters, like a demo session. But they don't call it a demo session. They say it's the session number one of the club. So when people come, they go to a session, and in the end, immediately there's a paper saying, oh, here are the rules for the 3-4 next sessions. Please say what you want to do in the next 3-4 weeks, in this time, in this hour. And by the way, here is a membership application. You can fill it, and now you're a member. And this is the session number one of a new club. So welcome, you found the club, you're a founding member, and this is good because you're not struggling for 1 year saying, okay, we're not 20, we are 1, we are 2, we are 3. Can you hear us, Laura? Welcome. Okay, so it's not a process that we are struggling through the year. It's like when you do this, your demo session is your session number one. So it was a strategy that I thought it was very interesting, that I thought it could really make the difference. And I wanted to share with you, because maybe you are right now trying to do a club, and maybe you can try this method. You can put it out there, try to call everyone and book all the agendas, not go as along and suffering through all the process, but say, welcome, this is a new club, this is going to happen. The other thing that I would like to share with you, it's our presentation that we prepare for corporate clubs. Okay, so let's talk about the community clubs and the strategy about dynamic demo sessions for corporations, because in some divisions, we've been going through presentations to the board, and we had the opportunity to present Toastmasters, and we felt the need to do a template to the companies. Here it is, the template to the companies. Can you please PowerPoint here? Just okay.
Do we have that file available? That file?
Yeah, this is yes. After this webinar, I will put this file on our Club Growth Corner. It will be editable, because you should adjust to the reality of the company you're going to present. We just found this can be a base. And what it says, I've tried it myself in a big bank here in Portugal, and I got some feedback and I improved it. So this can be also improved and should be shared at table. Okay, so let's go. What is Toastmasters? First questions, right? A worldwide non-profit educational organization, the clubs, over, wait, is not,
No, it's
okay.
going on.
Now it's going.
moving.
Okay, now it's going. Okay, what is Toastmasters? Then, after a brief explanation about the organizations, where are we? Okay, this is, oh, yes, we redone this to put here companies from
Portugal.
our,
Was in Spain?
from Spain and Portugal. Yes, this presentation still has the companies
Yes.
from the world, but with all the CG team put this with the logos that are from Portugal and Spain.
And
Then,
one question.
yes.
Well, and because when have you done this in Portugal, for instance, do you translate this to Portuguese?
That's
Because I
the
think
same.
it's important to send it in Portuguese or in Spanish,
Okay.
right? Not
Yes.
English, I think.
Yes. I have it a Portuguese version. I don't. Pablo was working with this also, but in English because most of their clubs are in English. But yes, for us in Portugal, not only for myself, we are working on this in the Portuguese version. Okay, so I think it's a great suggestion, and yes, should be available in both language.
Yeah.
I think the idea is to have the model in English, and afterwards each country are able to translate to the local language. I think this is the idea.
Yes, yes. So then we go through the benefits of building a Toastmasters club to explain what are the benefits. Then this is not right formatted, but you go through the main skills that employees can learn. And we added 2 brief slides about pathways, okay, where we tell them what is the educational program. It was asked to me in a presentation, so I had these 2 saying there was 11 learning paths. This can be out or not. If they ask what is the recognition done, how to reach the DTM, then let's, okay, this is the I have the older version of this, but I will put online the...
Sara, sorry, can I interrupt? The slide before,
Yes.
I think it's very important to show why, because some companies normally, if they understand the progression of each Toastmaster member, the companies are able to achieve some steps, because, for example, at least 2 companies that to prove that the employees goes to the sessions, and also they achieve this level 1, level 2, and so on, they can give points to the employees, and also it's a way to recognize the employee. For example, one particular company told us which possibility to control the visits the employees to the sessions, because inside of the company they have internet where they give points, special coin for each employee, achieve several several steps in projects, in the environment, in the whatever. And they have in the internet a portal where they can buy dinners, lunch, trips, and so on with the points they win inside of the company. So Toastmasters can also give, if they have this diagram in their minds, they can promote more intensely
The recognition
of the recognition and the presence of each employee in each session. So I think it's important to show them, because it's a way that the employees give more motivated. So this is can be important to speak this recognition issue regarding that PowerPoint slide.
That's true. Thank you, Antonio. I felt in the company that I was talking, when I explained the benefits and then what the employees learn, they tell me, but how, what, how are they going to do it? And then we talk about pathways, and they say, okay, but after that, what did they do here precisely, and how can they achieve the several levels? And they don't suggest the coin system, but yes, they were thinking about promoting in the company something for the employees that got the levels. So after this presentation about benefits, Toastmasters, employees, we start talking about again logistics and how to do it. This is important. If the company already saw the benefits, saw that is interesting, then you have to explain what do you need. For the demo meetings, invite employees, we will bring Toastmasters, we will do the agenda, we will need an auditorium, then we will open a prospect club with a fee and 2 sponsors, then we register the members, then we do the charter, and we will have 2 experienced mentors. And then, of course, this is important for the companies, the costs. How much does it cost to have the charter fee, the new member registration, the membership fee, how much this is for them. Also, do a simulation for a club with 30 members. What is the cost in training that the company is going to do? This is important for them to go to the board with these numbers when they are questionable. So this is mainly the explanation. They here has all the info concerning what is Toastmasters, how to do the club, and after that, how much it will cost you. There, you can always go other way. In the presentation that I got from Antonio, the first presentation, and Carla, there was a slide saying, what if they go to other clubs? What if instead of building a club, the company decides to pay them to go to the other clubs? Okay, you can also put here that option and say there's several clubs around, they charge this and that, and the cost for the company, if decided to register 10, 20, 30 members of the company in those clubs, is this, and compare with the costs of building a club. Okay, so this is like presentation start, an editable PP PowerPoint that you can use, and you can improve, of course, to show to the companies. Okay, so I will now ask for the next point of the agenda. I was going to ask.
Sara.
Yes.
You have here a simulation about 30 members, but you, in the beginning of the meeting with the people from the company, you start talking about 20 members. Someone can ask you about simulation about 20 members. Maybe
they ask.
Have a column with 20 members cost.
Yeah, it's true. But they ask me, why do we need 20? They ask me precisely that. Why do you need 20? And you are putting there not the 20.
I know the reason. We both know the reason.
Sara. Yes. What I explained to the company was 30s are the new 20s, and we need 30s because people are going to fail and everything. But yes, can be good to have the costs for 20, that is the minimum, and to have the costs for 30. Okay. So, but this is, as I said, a work on progress. I will put the final version that is a little bit more designed than this on the site, and with that we can try to improve. We are also going to try to have a Portuguese version and to have a Spanish version. That way you can go online and download the English, the Portuguese, and the Spanish, and then to adjust to the company you're going to visit and that you are going to talk about. Okay? So now, for the testimonials and going through the agenda before the Q&A, in the end, I will start with Carla, my collab growth committee, that have helped me a lot during these months, and I would like to thank you for that. And I will ask her to share a little bit about her experience. Last year, Carla was division director. She did a corporate summit. She helped build new clubs. So, Carla, what tips do you give here for anyone trying to build a club?
The major difficulties I had last year was that with the Toastmasters International, the complication about the link with the team from there. The main club I remember, it was Albufeira. The process started in January and we just closed it in, I think it was in April. So it took a long time from the beginning to the end of the process, about 4 months. I don't know what's the best way to do this, because now we have all the forms online, which is very useful for creating a club. Now this is very important to start, but was a problem with the team from US. I don't know how to manage this. How can you help us? How can your core team help us to improve our liaisons with the team from the US? But sometimes they answer in a very stupid way, like, we are just working on that, and stop. And you just don't understand what is the real answer. Albufeira didn't understand that, and the average didn't understand that. Me, I didn't understand that. So, and Christina Juezes, that was the club growth responsible, was also trying to help me, but she didn't know how to help me. So the key aspect was that I had many troubles with the Toastmasters International. I don't know how you can help us. What's what you can do, or what can we do to help the clubs to improve these liaisons with the US?
Well, from my point of view, we have to talk to them, show ourselves available to help the club and talk to TI with their doubts. I'm having troubles right now. I'm listening to you, Carla, and we're having trouble, for instance, for a club in Spain that is Cisco. Cisco, that has a club and wants to keep building the club, have troubles with payments, and asked us if Toastmasters International could be the official provider for them. Can go online and fill a form as provider, because that will help all the payments and all the relationship with the company. I asked Toastmasters and they seem very open about it. And right now, the way they talk to me is we want to do it, we want to help you. If there's needs to fill forms, I will fill forms. So just let me know, and let's hope they remain like this all through the year.
The second thing I remember is doing a summit is very good, because you can join many companies in the same venue. But Antonio knows that also. Antonio is there. Antonio worked with me. We work together. It's a very good option, because all the teams are together, all the companies are together, and we only do a demo. It's like demo session, but only one place, and in a very special date. And we have to have a very good database, which is sometimes not very. I mean, with this political issue about the privacy, it's not so. How can I say this? It's not so easy to do nowadays. Maybe another ways of enforce this. Maybe we can just put an ad on our Facebook in Toastmasters to maybe have more people engaged on these matters. But I don't know. I know that Division D had the demo session last week. I think it was from CTT, right, Antonio? It was from our database from last year, right?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yep.
How did you manage with
Yes.
database? How did you manage with the contacts without the about privacy politics or policies? I'm sorry. How did you manage that? Because I think that's a problem.
Yeah, but exists always someone that creates a problem, because in these days it's not so complicated to have an email, because most of the people have their email and the contacts on LinkedIn. It's a friend of a friend, so I don't feel that was an issue. Maybe one or two people create the problem. How you get my email? How you get my contacts? How? But anyway, I think this is not an issue because at the end, if the email goes directly to the right person, the person understands. So this is not a problem. But it's something that we must handle it when
yes,
occurs.
of course.
But
okay. It's what I remember from now.
Okay, okay. Then thank you, Carla, for sharing. Then we were expecting Juan. Maybe he will join during the conversation. I will ask now Norberto from Division C. Alba, you want to talk?
Yes.
Yes.
I couldn't find the hand here in the program.
No problem. I saw your hand.
Told me that you see me.
Yes.
My question is because last year we were working in a club that is about to be chartered, and they went on holiday, so they forget about this. But then I spoke to Ian last week, and he said, okay, I think things are going back again with the club, the ESA. Perhaps you have heard about that, ESA at the business school. Well, the issue they have last year, it was that they wanted an invoice, a previous invoice before making the payment. Mm-hmm. Is that a possibility to have it? Because I know they're going to ask me for that this year. What do you know about it?
Carla, do you want to share your experience?
Can I speak? Can I speak?
Of course, Antonio.
Antonio, go for it.
Okay. This is an issue. We're beginning to speak 2 months ago with Gonçalo to find a way that a single club or a division or an area can make an invoice for the speechcraft or whatever. Because one thing is true, that when we beginning to speak with the CTT, so it's the Portuguese Correios, and one of the issues, they was very surprised how we spend our labor time in helping a club without win money. So, but my feeling is that if you said to the corporate club that our fees can be 200 or 300 or 400 or 500, they accept. We don't speak about that because we don't have any way, an alternative, a legal alternative, and it's for the companies. For us, okay, it's not a problem to receive money, but the question is, the companies need a receipt, it needs an invoice or a proof that the money goes out from the la caja, no? And so I think this is, for me, in my opinion, an issue that we must put as urgently how to resolve this. Because some companies, as you said, Alva, they can ask for a pre-invoice to put on budget, to whatever. And also because some companies maybe can pay us not directly to us as a member, but for the area or for the division or for the club, depending the situation. For example, in my club, I have the issue that we are able to make a speechcraft in a tourism school, but how they are going to pay us if you don't have any, and it's a public school, it's a public company, a public school, so how they can prove that they pay us? Including we are in a way to maybe to change our venue to a posada, and belongs to the city hall. And again, they can, even we don't pay nothing, but they need something that in the physical point of view. So this is one of the issues that we must think
address.
And how if these issues spend 1 year resolving, okay, it's 1 year resolving, but must be our priority. Otherwise, I think in the last 3 years, I always hear about this problem. or is a problem and we don't have solution, or we must working to have this problem resolved as a legal association or whatever. But this is very important to have it.
Okay.
I would add the same. It's the same thing.
Okay, from my side, what I can say is after this call, you have my commitment. I will address the situation and ask them if they are working on this, because I was so surprised, I would say, with the Cisco answer, that they were like saying everything you need, everything you want, just build clubs, just keep the clubs alive. We will fill the forms, we will be official providers, we will do everything that the company wants. So I'm a little bit optimistic right now with their availability. Let's see if this is real. Let's go for it, and I will ask them if they are willing to give us pre-invoices for the corporations to have something to budget and something to explain the expense they are about to be made. One thing that I got a problem in that I felt there was a problem in Portugal, I don't know if it's the same in Spain, is that Toastmasters is not officially an educational trainer, right? So this doesn't count for the workers as credit. And for this problem, I don't have solution in Portugal. And I'm assuming in Spain it's the same, right?
Of course, it's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
So
It's
let's
the same,
try to work on the pre-invoice. We will try to work on the pre-invoice, and if we manage to salute that, that's a success. About the training, nothing for now. I don't see nothing to be done.
Sara,
Okay.
but just tell me, just let me say this about the corporates. You are telling rightful what is right about the pre-invoice, but about the members, some members want also. Sometimes members ask for the invoice after the payment.
After the payment, but after the payment you can ask it.
Okay.
Okay,
Because
after the payment you can ask to Toastmasters International the invoice for the member.
because this is a key aspect. Okay, don't forget this, because some people ask this and they want this really, even though it doesn't count for ERS.
Yes, that is in fact a possibility. The one thing that is not very clear is you ask the member, imagine 60 euros,
Yes.
and you will only get the invoice for $45.
Okay.
So this is the only problem that we have right now. But TI can give him this. Also, just to share with you, we are having a problem with a member that I feel it's related to club building. There was a member that joined my club that was a member for 1 year of a prospect in Germany. Okay, so they charge him the fees, they charge him as a member because they were trying to be 20, right? So they do it, pay to us, do it, and he started with the competent communicator. He did 8 speech. Now he went to Portugal and he said, here am I, please register me for the 9th speech, because I want to do it, I already done 8, and here is my semester, 60 euros. But the problem is he was never a member. He had to pay the 20 and he was like, what? I was a member of a prospect for nothing. And I saw he didn't get it. When he was registered as a member, he thought he was really a member. So we have to be careful how we communicate to the members. Okay, Antonio is asking me to speak before he leaves. Antonio, do you want to go now?
Yes, please. I'm here in the Portuguese Shark Tank team, and I have a session with him. So, and maybe I need to quit Sunday. Well,
okay.
What in terms of the club growth on the corporate, what I feel at the moment is it's very important to have the club sponsors and the club coach from our side, because they need to have them. And this is very critical, because if on the first meetings they feel that these club coach or club sponsors don't give the time for them, beginnings to have a problem. So this is things that we must have in idea when we choose the club sponsor and club coach, because it's important to have the commitment when it's possible, because it's our labor time to help the corporate clubs. And also we have lucky in the CTT, so the Correios of the Portugal, that they have two members, two employees who are Toastmasters. So this also can help a lot. Also, it's important to all for the corporate clubs. This is costs, and I make some efforts to show them not only the capabilities that Toastmasters program, education program, give to the employees, and of course the company wins with that. But again, as I said previously, is find a way to the corporate use the education program with level 1, level 2, level 3 to give the commitment and to the recognition, internal recognition to the employees and to the organization. Also, we motivate in our talks the importance that even why a CEO of the company or the sales manager of the company or a high manager, if he needs to prepare a meeting or a presentation, use the club for them for that. This creates some harmony when the RH people or from the RH department speaks with the CEO. Also, if also it's important next time this is the second corporate summit. I have helped Carla and Luís Prazeres last year, but the next one, I think it's not to use a corporate summit. For example, in Portugal, I think every year exists the RH Summit, where basically the target is to RH manager and RH people works on RH departments. And this is another target which can be important for us to promote the Toastmasters concept. I think at the moment, I have no idea if at least in Portugal we have used it, but I think on the future we must include it on RH magazine. They exist, who goes directly to the RH managers of all the companies. Normally, this kind of events, it's not for small companies, but for big companies. Normally, these events, big players make speech, and this is an issue for all of the companies. So I think we must see to find a way, again without the cost as possible, to be on this kind of events, RH events, because it's I think very important to that people from RH departments on the company see us. It's one shot, it's one bullet, and I think this bullet can catch some RH people. This is what I feel, and to finalize and to reinforce again the importance of the commitment of the coach sponsor and club sponsor.
Thank you so much, Antonio, for your testimonial, and have a great session tonight in Almada. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
So,
Thanks.
I will go now we already have in this call Norberto, Rey, and Laura. I will ask now Norberto to share a little bit about his experience concerning club building. Norberto, hi, welcome.
Hey everybody. So after having all this session before, I feel like whatever I have to give is really so small, but let's give it. It seems to have gone a long way since I've created a club a few years ago. So I think the most important thing to create a club is actually not to as from the outsider, when we're trying to help out the new club to start, it's actually not to take every step. It's basically to as much as possible try to find one or a person or a team of people who are really interested in getting a club to be carried out, to be done, and to help them, rather than taking it on yourself to do it. That's what I've learned, because good example that happened back then in Bayreuth, I think it was about 4 years ago or something. I think it was at the end of 2015, but I could be wrong. What I really learned is, as soon as we have a really good team that is really into it, into really creating something for themselves, the magic just happens. And then all you're doing is just helping here and there, and just giving them some advice. And then this only has good you know good results. The first, of course, is that there is not too much work on yourself. You don't want to concentrate on yourself. You don't want to take too much pressure or too much load on your shoulders to carry on with this. The second, of course, is that people will see that in order to have something, they will have to put an effort into it. It's not just something that lands on their feet. Otherwise, people will just, oh yeah, well, if they, let's do the other way around. If they put an effort into something, they will cherish what they have even more, rather than just doing everything for themselves, doing yourself for them, and then they will find, oh, this is effortless to get, so it will be effortless to lose anyway. It doesn't really matter very much. So in my good experience with Bayreuth, which would happen again 4 years ago, is that everything just seemed to be coming out into place. It just seemed to the team seemed to have a very good momentum when it came to actually getting things done. So getting a location, a free location, obviously, getting people to be interested in the concept of Toastmasters, getting through all that bureaucracy with Toastmasters International. So I think that was really what made it a success, at least from the beginning. I'm sorry to say that Bayreuth doesn't exist anymore in the sense of that place, but at least while it existed, then there in the beginning, the first couple of years while that was going on, it was quite a good club. It was always working quite well. It was only back at the end when it seemed like it kind of floundered. It didn't have as much people interested, or as many people interested in the club itself.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Norbert. And I totally agree. Building a club is not just a one-man show, a person trying to do it, but you have to have people interested, people that invest, and then you have to be the facilitator of that energy. You have to help the energy to grow and to keep going till the club is solid.
Can I say just a couple more things? One of them is,
yes.
First of all, thank you so much and congratulations for putting up that page with all the resources there. That's extremely helpful and valuable. So I think that's going to be very easy it's going to be much easier for us to help clubs to grow and, to know exactly where they are in those steps. That's really fantastic. So congratulations for that. The other thing is, if we, going back to that thing about finding someone who will be able to, or again, a team of people who are interested in the concept, and then they will also help other people in the community. They will aggregate more people in the community to be interested in Toastmasters. It will help a lot if, for example, if they are existing Toastmasters members, or if not, then invite them a lot more often. So either you already have one person that says, well, yeah, it could be interesting to create a new club there, and then you just help them, and then everything's so much easier. Or if it's your if it's your initiative to actually create a club, and then you have to go and find someone who will be interested in keeping it and making sure that it gets the momentum to keep it going, then that person, if that person is really new at Toastmasters, it might be a good idea for that person to be, at least in the beginning, to come very often to another club.
Of course.
So they will learn everything about it. So they will have as much help as possible from another club, a neighbor club, for example. And I think that's
true.
Sorry, yeah?
True. It's true.
I think that will help a lot, because then, of course, they will see it for themselves, especially if they've never seen it before. They will see it also from the perspective of deepening their learning about what Toastmasters is. And also, and what I think is the most important, is to see good examples of Toastmaster sessions. So they don't go about starting new things just because they haven't seen properly how it's done. So if they go to other clubs, at least in the very first few months while they're still in the very first few months before they charter, then I think that will help a lot. Now, I'm afraid I don't have many more insights or epiphanies about this, because I think, to be honest, from my experience, I think this is a bit obvious, but this is what I have. I hope this was helpful some way.
Thank you so much. It was for sure. Thank you, Norbert, for your sharing and for your experience. Barrada was indeed a great accomplishment and a great club that even organized the national conference. So it was a good example. And now, after Norberto, yes, go for it.
Regarding Norberto's speech, do you think it is compulsory that we should not force but encourage and do and make the people who want to create a club to attend Toastmaster sessions in other clubs? Because one issue we had last year was that there were a club, Gas Natural, the branch in Barcelona, who wanted to become a club, and they started doing sessions, and I used to go there to help them. No, when I was area director, it was last year, 2 years ago, but I couldn't make them to attend any Toastmaster session. The guy who was organizing the sessions, and they start doing speeches and they're doing the roles, but they would never attend a session. So I said, you have to take the time to attend a session. And the result was that at the end, nothing happened, and the guy just stopped working in that company, so nobody continued doing that. And then, I think it's a law that they should attend a club or should be a member of another club in order to create a club, or not?
I think that's $1 million question. It's really difficult, even for a community club, but it's even for a corporate club. Corporate clubs have a totally different dynamic. They are interested only in that club itself. Most of what I've seen so far, in the examples that I've seen, is that they're much closed off from to the outside. I mean, it's not a rule, but that's my experience anyway with EDP, for example, and with Tech Maya, which are 2 local clubs in Porto. And what I've seen from them is that they don't participate very much. And this happens because they associate that with work, I think. They see that, oh, wait a moment, for me to work here, to be able to work here, I have to go to a different place. They seem, oh, no, for that I have another thing. I have my own social life, my private life, and I don't care very much about that. I think this is what I think, not completely sure, but this is what I think is how they think, right? Now, if you asked a couple of questions there. One of them is to make it compulsory. No, I won't say it compulsory. I think it would help a lot. But the idea is, instead of making them feel it's compulsory, make them feel that they will benefit a lot. I think you've said that anyway. But it's really the only way. You can't really make them, but at least try to make them feel that they will benefit from going to other clubs. And if they still don't, what else can you do? And there's a point after which you just redirect your strength elsewhere and think, these guys, I can help them out and everything, but if I cannot be just continually in front of them, telling them to do this way and that way and so on, I think after a while they'll just become tired and they won't listen to what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay.
True. Thank you, Norberto. It's true that make them go to other clubs. It's difficult. Bringing experienced Toastmasters in corporate clubs. Corporate clubs can have some members that are not from the corporation. EDP, for example, was a club with members from outside, and that can help bring the experience from other clubs. If they don't go there, they come to the club. It could help. And I will ask now Ray to share a little bit about his experience in Division E. Ray, hello, welcome.
Hi. I think the big thing is to have an experienced Toastmaster who's going to really explain the functions clearly so that the people are learning from the very beginning. So you can't put someone as first Toastmaster who's not experienced, and the better the first Toastmaster, the more fun the session will be, and that will lift the spirit and the club will start to grow quicker. If you get a first Toastmaster who's boring, who likes to hear the sound of his own voice too much, then it can ruin the atmosphere, and people, I don't want to go and hear that person talk and talk and talk again. So it has to be a good first Toastmaster. I think really to start with, you should, if it's a if you've got the possibility, have five members of Toastmasters who are experienced, who you take along with you, because you need a good first Toastmaster, a good general evaluator. You should have a Toastmaster to give a speech, not just rely on the new members from the club that you're starting, because they're only going to be giving icebreakers. So if you can get someone who needs to do an advanced speech, a level 2, 3, or 4 speech, then that helps to create some more interest for what's to come in the future. And you need at least one experienced Toastmaster to be an evaluator. And if you can, to have an existing Toastmaster to be table topic master as well. Because if you make the table topics fun, then you get the people to come up on stage and try. And if someone gives the topics for the table topics that are really difficult, sort of really on poetry or something like that, and the table topics fall flat, then that takes the fun out of the meeting as well. So for me, it's getting a good first Toastmaster at the very beginning, and getting the club going like that. The problem of getting the word out, we found that meetup, we don't get many people coming along, that Eventbrite has more impact, but we get a lot of people who say they're going and then don't appear. That's with the new club we're forming in Wales, PMI. You really need help with people saying they're going along to the meeting, other Toastmasters saying they're going along to the meeting, to try and get a bit more momentum. With the corporate clubs, it's important to well, Nokia is the club that we've just launched back in the summer, and with them we found that there was just one existing Toastmaster member who'd been to Lot club in over near the airport, and he was a big help. We invited him to come along to young entrepreneurs, because he'd been a member 3 or 4 years ago at Lot, and he came to young and came along to a session. He was quite happy to be an evaluator, and so he got involved in one of our sessions, and so he had a lot more enthusiasm for the going back and helping Nokia start. And we sent out the explanation of all of the functions, and in English and in Portuguese, because they have a lot of foreign employees, so they need it in both languages. And we were very, very surprised at the enthusiasm within Nokia. There were a couple of members of the team who really sort of made the effort to get everything started. Going back to something that was said about Toastmasters International, one of the people we had to deal with was Mexican. And so Katy from Nokia, she spoke to him in Spanish, and that helped a lot in overcoming the problem of getting help from Toastmasters International. It was incredible. I mean, since they moved to Denver, the attitude seems to have changed completely. In when they were in California, they seemed to be more helpful and knowing what they were doing. But the people in Denver, they don't have the same attitude about helping and solving the problems. You know, I can't do that, and that's it. They just want to leave it at that. But I actually have a pro forma invoice, if anyone wants to use it, that can be included.
That is great, Ray. If you could share it with all of us, that can be, if Toastmasters International doesn't provide us, that could solve the problem for now. Yes, and can help us solve the problem by now. So it would be really great if after this call you can share it with the Club Growth group, and then I will send it to all.
I got to find it. I'm not sure
where
it is, but I used it for Nokia and.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for your testimonial. It was great with all the experience. And now, for last but not least, Laura from Division F. Laura?
And the first is, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wow.
Very good.
Great,
Whoa.
because as you have seen, I have been in and out a lot because I
Yes, I saw it.
So.
And you are two. There are two Lauras on mine, you know.
Because I was trying from the phone and from the
Okay.
Anyway, finally it's working. Great. So I have been eating a few things, and from the things I has been picking up, I would like to make some comments about the pro forma or pre-invoice, what Fry has said already. But basically, in my case, when I make the clubs, I just brought to Toastmaster and they make the invoice. Normally, the corporate clubs has two ways of paying. Can be by the financial department or can be by one person who has a credit card from the company. So in that case, they just make the expensive and then they get the invoice automatically. But that depends, obviously, the charge of the person that is creating the club. About invoices in the contest, depending on the kind of contest, obviously, but if we make an area contest, for example, Malaga Club created an area contest, well, for Ora Andalucía, which was what was happening during the year I was area director. What we made was a receipt from the own club, because at the end, all that they need is something that say, you has get the money. Obviously, they get the payment, they get the proof that they make the payment. So any club, I think, well, in this, obviously Ray can correct me or maybe anyone, but in Spain, as a person, you can invoice without declaring as far as you are in the minimum of the money that you receive, is the minimum of the salary. But as an association, obviously you don't have a fiscal number, a financial number, but you can say, I have received this money from you because you are a club, so you can say it. So that it's not like it's going to be super official because it's not something that, but at least when you pay a contest, you don't have taxes, you don't have anything that more than the money that you have put in the bank account. So in our case with Oracle, that was working. We make just a paper that we say, okay, we have received this amount of money from this person in concept of this. And we put, yes, in that case, I think we place the logo of our club, which is the Toastmaster logo. And that was enough.
In our club as well.
And
obviously, people ask for invoices, we do that because we are an association. Mm-hmm.
And that was signed by the president, to see that was not something that the person that received or paid the money make it by themselves. Also, Norberto was telling about how you create a club, the amount of people that you need, and how you involve the people. I mean, in the way that is good that you get one person, but which is the person that is going to push about that, but you need some people to help them. In my experience, what we make was something that I think Norberto has already said. We got people really, really motivated to create a club. To that people, we were in almost daily contact with them to give them as much information as we could. Obviously, we invite them to any club that was close by. If that was in Malaga, what's easy? Sometimes they could find the time to go a couple of times to our club. But for example, now we are making a club in Cordoba. It's not a corporate, but we are making that club. We have to give them a person. When we create a club, we give them, you know that you have a sponsor, you have a mentor, but then we force them to have a mentor. And we, in the meaning that we get people that is also motivated to create clubs. And then what I was doing was selling to both parts, obviously the benefit that you are mentoring someone and you are growing in your leadership career in Toastmaster, and the benefit that you are not alone to create a club. And you don't have to go directly to study all from Toastmaster, or, I mean, you have some support to grow in that way. Well, I think that about your question that you say about should be that the person go to other clubs. In my opinion, should be that any member of Toastmaster go to other club, but obviously the distances sometimes doesn't make it available. But we have to try, and the same way that we have to try that people go to the contest and they get some more participation. And I think we still need to work a lot on that. I don't have the magic key yet. When I find it, I will let you know.
Please share it.
What Try was telling about people of getting a lot of experience to get to explain the role. In my experience, that is what I was also commenting about. Put the people there to say, okay, you are a DPE, perfect. You are gonna have this other person to help you and to grow with you, a facilitator that is there always. And yes, I have one more comment about. In some point, I have heard something about they have to be clubs, like a standard club. I don't know a standard club. I don't know what is, and maybe it's a complete lack of knowledge from my side, but in my experience, and I think was you, Alba, the one that was commenting this, and you have been going around a lot of clubs also in the world. There are not two clubs similar, even if they have some similar roles. The environment, the way in that they develop the meetings, the way in that they comment, you have to be flexible when you create a corporate, and being there to make them that they don't feel alone, but give them also some freedom, give them the knowledge, give them everything. But yeah, my biggest issue on the other hand has been with the club that we have lost, Artec. Artec was starting in a way weird. I went a couple of meetings to Artec. They had very clear that the people in the company, they have to know how to make a public speaking, and they had to develop that skill. But what they make for that was to get a person that apparently was Toastmaster. On that time, she was not Toastmaster, and hire that person as a teacher. And they make a combination. Yes. And on that time, our division, our district, we made it. I was not very agree with that, but we made it. So what has happened in 1 year, we have lost it. The mix that they were doing, and I want to share it to just to give you some alert in case that happened in any other place in Spain. We have in Spain some money that the company pay to the government to get some education. So they have that credit that they can spend in any time. That is called tripartita. So they make that mix. They got Toastmaster, they got tripartita, and they got the teacher. They put all together and they say, now we have a club that is gonna be inside of these expenses from the government, because that is the money that they already pay, so they can get that benefit. So they make a very weird mix, which at the end, what has happened is that the person that was the teacher has become a Toastmaster, has made a very weird way of growing, because suddenly she got all the prizes. Let's gonna say CC, all the advanced, everything. She has been the fastest career in the world. So we need to be very alert on that. And I know that sometimes it's complicated to go to the meetings on a corporate club, but on the other hand, my experience has been that anytime that I have, well, anytime not like, hey, tomorrow I want to go to your meeting. Okay, you go. No, but at least once per month, I could go inside of a meeting. I could share with them. They could share with me, because a corporate club has that way that they mix. That is a hobby with the fact that for them it's part of the job. And that makes them that they don't participate on the contest. I was really surprised when I have a speak the last week with, now we have two corporate, Oracle and Ericsson. No one from Malaga, only 2 people from Oracle are going to the contest, to the summit. And then my question is, what the hell is going on? Are we not showing the benefit? Are we not communicating in a communication association? Are not we communicating this properly?
We have the same issue here. They don't participate.
Yes, but they from Barcelona to Malaga, I understand.
No, but not even to the events in Barcelona. They don't go to area contests. They don't go to.
But I believe it's a problem of the corporate clubs in a whole. They are less committed with stuff that goes beyond the club because of all the reasons that you already pointed. It's work. It's related to their work trainers. They don't have to pay. They are paid by the company at that hour to be there practicing. So
but then we have to create some kind of mentor or coach or whatever that is a have to, is a must, but has to be there, because else we are gonna lose them, and
True.
They are not gonna get the benefit of what they have to get, basically, because they feel it as a job, and that facilitator has to have also some knowledge about team building and how to separate all that. But anyway, that can be for another webinar. I think that's more or less all my experience about creating clubs. What I do is keep in contact with the person. I mean, it's when someone come to me and say, I'm thinking about Toastmaster, but I just went to the website and I have decided that I want to make something. Okay, perfect, welcome. Obviously, the first is to invite them to any other club, but the most of the time, it's too far, it's too late, it's blah, 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 blah. Okay, and explain them as much as possible, give them all the documentation that we have to create the prospect, and then they already see, oh, this is gonna take me a lot of time. And try to make the demo with as much people as possible who is already ready to create it. Create you a meeting already with 20 people. Then after you just try to push them to the 30s or whatever, but at least my experience is just to be there and solve questions, and they are gonna give you what the questions and the fear that they have when they try to make a club, and then it's more or less easy. Well, to be there.
So thanks a lot for your experience, Laura. That was also great tips. We are a little bit ahead of time. I don't know if any of you would like to add something quickly. Yes, Carla?
Some tips. I'm going to just remember some tips that I think are important. There are two clubs in Portugal, that I remember from Division D, which are Galp and the Nova Base. And there are two tips that are important. People that are Nova Base and Galp with Susana and Nuno are very much involved in Toastmasters, and they are very experienced Toastmasters. The reason by which the clubs are so sustainable is because they are very experienced and they come from the other clubs with experience. And Susana, and you know also Nuno. And that's why these two clubs are so sustainable, and they are very, they are okay. There are no problems with this. And they are very engaged with the human resources department. And they have a very good communication with this department, and that's why they have 20 and something members nowadays. And another thing is that Antonio just mentioned, I think, about an hour ago, about Human Resources magazine. When we promote our summit, we just published something in the Human Resources magazine inside the company, Nova Base and Galp also. This was important because some people just saw that and share with their friends in order to have some other companies in our summit. And this is another idea. I think it's good for you to know. About about community clubs. I remember that the Albufeira, which is in Algarve, as you know, had periodical sessions, which is, I think, is the case of PMI, which is the case of PMI in the division E nowadays. Every week, 2 sponsors from Portimão and 2 sponsors from Faro, which is not so close to Albufeira, went from January to March to every session, weekly session. This was the reason of success why the club was created in April, because every week these people experienced those masses. 4 people, like Ray said, very important. 4 people were always in these sections. I mean, maybe they missed 1 or 2 sections, one or two people, but it was very important to have these people there to talk about the voice, the tone of the voice, the gestures, the portraits, everything about those masses. People were very, very engaged, and when I was there in July, I can see that. I'm going to say something about TIP, but the other way around. IPAM. IPAM is a case of failure. Why is IPAM a case of failure? Because there is no Toastmasters in IPAM. IPAM, it was about to happen. It did happen. I don't know if Gonçalo is going to make that happen. I hope so, really. Because IPAM had no Toastmasters there, and what IPAM wanted is us to be there every week with them. Be mentors, I mean, effectively mentors presently with them. That cannot never happen. This is not possible. That's why this is end of the story. And I hope Gonçalo has the spirit to go with this ahead, because really I could not do it because it is not possible. I want to share this is a failure in some tips. I think it's important.
Can I comment something about this last tip?
Yes, Laura?
Of course you cannot. In fact, basically it's magic what your team was doing, going every week. But you can be in somehow, I mean, not you, but that people that is also there to support that team online. I give them always, when I make a new club, I always give them the opportunity to have a mentor from any other club. It's working the same that when you have a mentor in your club, they have to record their speech. They have that person on WhatsApp or on Zoom or any other way, and they have that comments. And of course, when they are having a mentor, and I mean, in my club or in any other club, for speaking, okay? For speaking, I always recommend to change it every 3 speeches. Because at the end, what you want is that person speak by themselves, not speak like Laura or like Sara or like Alberto. So they have to find, from having different mentors, they find a way that they really need to speak or the best of themselves.
You are right, Laura, but what happened is that I mean, in the beginning there were speeches, but I mean in the end it was like me speaking, Susana speaking, Antonio speaking, and there were no speeches at all. It was a session from ours. It was our session, not their session.
Yeah, but that is what I mean. That I find awesome that you were there, but normally when I have created a club, I have created them by themselves. We are there, we are on the phone, we are online, but we are not on we make 1 demo, maybe 2, but we don't go always to the club, because
Yeah.
else they can feel like, oh my God, this people is talking very good. I am afraid to talk.
You are right.
And
Definitely.
if that happens,
Yeah.
then I will not do a normal Toastmaster session. Then I will be a Toastmaster, but then all the comments, and they are forced to be talking outside. It's not a meeting. I understand that they also have to grow, but will not be a meeting in which they have projects and all those things. So then we are gonna play to public speaking.
Yeah.
Okay, now we really have to finish, but we finish in a great point, talking about sponsors and mentors. So next weekend in Malaga, I will give a workshop about mentors, sponsors, and coach. Would love to see you all in there to share also your experience. And after our Club Growth Corner, the next corner we will have in our site is precisely about mentor, coaches, and sponsors. And we'll have webinars about this. I will invite you all to join to talk a little bit about this. And let's talk soon. I would like to thank you so much for attending, for giving all your experience. And I hope to see you all in Malaga. If not, to see you all soon. Okay?
Okay.
So,
bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.